I have really been looking forward to. Among us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is amazing Indian Ashish Goyal. Deprived of vision, Ashish's extraordinary story and tremendous fight back saw him go to Wharton Business School and now to the very fast-moving world of international finance. Ashish says, and I find this truly inspiring, the spirit of rising against adversity. He says, I see no harm in trying. I am starting at zero anyway. I cannot go negative. Ladies and gentlemen, here is his amazing story.
Like most people his age, Mumbai-born Ashish Goyal loves sports, music and theatre. What separates him from the crowd is the fact that he holds the distinction of being the world's first blind trader. Never one to wallow in self-pity, this bright student excelled in academics and went on to pursue his MBA from the Wharton Business School. He now holds a challenging job as a portfolio manager at JP Morgan's Chief Investment Office in London.
My Guruji, my spiritual master, he basically said that it's only, it's just one sense that you lost. It's not the end of the world. And then I said, okay, there's no harm in trying. I'm starting at zero. I can't go negative.
Ashish Goyal's indomitable spirit and passion for life is a source of inspiration for all of us. And we are honored to have this amazing Indian join us today.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's very humbling standing here in front of all of you today. But I'm here and I'm going to share with you my life, my experiences, and some of the learnings from those experiences. I grew up in North Mumbai just as a regular child. I was more into sports than studies, and I was physically very active. In fact, by the time I was 5, I was already swimming, cycling, horse riding, and shooting. I wanted to spend all my time on the cricket field. But actually, my dream was to be a tennis player. But all that changed, and changed quite dramatically. When I was about 9, my parents were told that I suffer from an eye condition, which would slowly take away my eyesight. I don't know how they dealt with it then. I don't know how they deal with it now. But for me, things were different. Balls started disappearing from the other side of the court. Lines in my textbook started blurring. And I was isolated. When I entered college, when all my friends were making career plans, they were getting involved in sports, theatre, other activities. They were going out, making friends and dating girls. While I was dealing with this rapid loss of eyesight, I was running very hard on the spot to remain where I was and to maintain my dignity in this new social teenage environment. But I had a great support system. I was very lucky. My father, for the second time in his life, had to hold my hands and teach me the ways of the world that he did not know himself. My mother, from having a son who looked quote-unquote normal, had to deal with the fact that her son was quote-unquote different. My sister, who is a dermatologist now, became an expert in business law and accounting because she used to read my books tirelessly back to me every day. And my youngest sister, Garima, who's actually a great support mechanism. I'll mention her specifically because she suffers from the same condition that I do. She graduated from Sofia's Media College a year and a half ago and is a journalist and a writer. But she grew up in this shadow of this elder brother that everybody loves to compare her with. I was also very awkward and weird, not in my head, but to others. Because I would sit in the front of the classroom with thick glasses and still not be able to see the blackboard. I would run into people or just ignore them completely. I would suddenly fall on the steps or get hurt by stones. But the fact was I was going blind. I couldn't explain that to anyone. At that point of time, I was really sad. I was lost. It was all about why me. And I was searching for answers, searching for direction. That's when my Guruji, Dr. Balaji Tambe, he gave me some very practical advice. As you heard, he said that it's only one sense that you lost. He also said that don't look at this as a problem and sit with it. Go find a solution to it. And that was it. My life changed. It was like the flick of a switch. Although it did not happen so fast, but I started looking at life slightly differently. I believe all of us have challenges. Some have physical challenges, some in the mind, financial challenges, social challenges. But we all deal with it. And for me, my disability is a challenge. It's just another challenge. I also decided to go tackle problems in a way that I could find practical solutions for others. In this new role, I tried restarting my career, and I gave an entrance exam to an MBA program in India. Last moment, the independent authority that conducts the exams changed my writer. Now, I was already nervous, but more than that, now I was baffled. I was baffled because the University of Mumbai and the government has very clear rules about writers, and I was very well within my rules. But someone decided to implement their own rule. And although we need more affirmative action through setting of rules, what we really need is a change of attitude and the implementation of the rules that already exist. Anyways, I took the exam and fortunately I passed. My MBA career was very slow to start off. But then eventually I became part of the college. I did well academically and as well as extracurriculars. When it came time to recruit, my resume got shortlisted to every company that I applied to. But as they would turn up on campus, mysteriously I would be dropped from the interview process. They would not speak to me, not tell me why, but as they would discover that I didn't have sight, they would just drop me from the process. One day, after a month of going every day with a smile on my face, hoping someone would interview me, a senior HR professional from a large Indian corporate called me. And I thought, yes, that's it, this is my chance. In 2 minutes I realized what he was trying to tell me was that his progressive company did not have a spot for someone like me. Instead, I should go find a job in the government sector through the quota system that we have. Well, I was obviously annoyed. But more than that, I was amused. I was amused at his ignorance and the lack of awareness. He did not bother asking me a single question or finding out what I did or how I did things. Anyways, ignorance has been something that's been prevalent all through my life, not only in India, everywhere abroad as well. Fast forward 5 years when I went to Wharton Business School. The first day, one of my co-students asked another co-student, what is this guy doing here? As if I didn't belong there with her in the same class. 2 years ago, when I tried entering a nightclub in New York, the bouncer stopped me, took my cane in his hand and said, you can't take a golf club inside? I wish I had a golf club and I would have swung it right there. Anyways, so going back, the next day I came back to the same college and recruited again. Fortunately, ING Visa hired me. The 3 years at ING Visa went like a breeze. I learned a lot about Indian financial markets. And I said, okay, I want to expand my knowledge and go abroad. I wanted to see what global financial markets were. I started talking to different business schools, and when I met the director of admissions at Wharton, he heard me and said, Ashish, I can't guarantee that you'll get a job on Wall Street. All I can say is, your life will be better with a Wharton degree than without one. And guess what? I decided to trust him. In fact, I've realized that as I've lost my sight, I've started trusting people more and more. I trust people on a daily basis. While I'm crossing the streets in Delhi, Bombay, New York, London, I trust the taxi drivers in Jakarta when I'm traveling alone for business. I trust the the shopkeepers in Philadelphia when I would show them all the same size notes in US dollars, and they would never cheat me. In fact, I realized the more you trust people, they get empowered and they try not to break your trust. Wharton was a lot of fun. I tried a lot of different things, met people from a lot of different cultures. I studied hard, obviously, but I also did some very unusual things. I flew a Cessna V2 aircraft in Lake Placid, where I convinced the co-pilot that it was the easiest thing to do. I drove a four-wheel drive car down the mountains of New England. I played in a Brazilian drumming group called Bateria in the nightclubs of Philadelphia. Now I live in London and I work for JP Morgan, where it's great because people look out for each other and we've been led by an inspirational leader, Jamie Dimon. But what's even more amazing is that at work, I'm in the frontier of global financial markets, which, as Mr. Mukherjee said, it's a very challenging and interesting situation right now. And outside work, I'm able to gather privileged people like us who try to make a difference to people all across the world. Today at 31, when I stand in front of you, I get asked a lot of personal and professional questions. Professionally, I get asked, okay, so first blind student Wharton, first trader ever who's blind. What's the next first you do? And I smile back and say, it's never about the first, it's all about living your life happily. Personally, I get asked, so you're 31, you're not married. When are you going to get settled down? And I say, well, I will when I find a girl who finds me just another regular guy with my own set of talents. Well, looking back, life seems to have come together very nicely. It seems like everything has fallen into place. But if you would ask me at 15, 20, 25 what my next 5 years would look like, I would have given you a completely different answer. Life has been a struggle, and I know it will be going forward. But I believe that if I live with the principles that I've come to learn, and I guess that applies to all of us, A, live with your challenges and deal with them. B, go find solutions to problems. And third is never give up. Thank you.
Ashish Goyal, what an inspiring story, an inspiring example. Thank you for that. You really touched the mood. Ideas are the mightiest influence on earth. A tiny spark of inspiration can be the beginning of a big idea that ignites a revolution, personal, social, national. And our next award is a special category.